Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Isaac Simfwendri. Karibu sana. Kindly remember to like, subscribe, and share. Let more people be able to get to know about this channel so that we can be able to empower our society in averting stigma in our community. Karibu sana. Today, we're going to learn about disclosure of HIV status among children and adolescents living with HIV. Karibu. To begin with, let us be able to understand what is disclosure. Now, someone may ask you, what is disclosure? Now, disclosure is a process of a continued discussion about a certain disease, so as to be able to create awareness and to be able to allay fears, cognitive stress, emotional stress, and also to build therapy as someone gets to understand what he or she is suffering. That is a simple understanding, disclosure. So it's more about the mind, the cognitive, the emotional, the social, the spiritual understanding and comprehension of the reality that is at hand. Now, in this case, is a disclosure about HIV virus or HIV infection. Now, we have several types of disclosure, and this happens especially for children as they are developing. One of the disclosure, uh, we have a partial disclosure, full disclosure, and then we have accidental disclosure. The others that are rather not types, but they are stages. We have pre-disclosure, disclosure period, and we have a post-disclosure period. All this we are going to discuss in our topic today. This is part one of HIV disclosure among children and adolescents. Karibu sana. Now, the other thing that we are going to discuss today is about transmission. How do these children or adolescents get to get the HIV virus or HIV infection? There are two types of transmission. One of them we call it vertical transmission. This is the transmission from the mother during delivery or during breastfeeding, and the other one is a transmission through various causes of HIV. Could be sexual intercourse, could be sharing sharp objects, could be blood transfusion, or any other form that can transmit HIV while someone is still in the society. Either you are young or you are adolescent, or while still living. Now, to be able to get this, let's start with the vertical transmission, because this is where we are going to dwell much on. For the vertical transmission, how does it occur? When a mother delivers a child, they usually deliver a HIV negative child. This child usually has to undergo the process that we call HIV exposed infant prophylaxis process. And in some cases, the parent or the guardian may fail to take through the child through this process of prophylaxis, and this child ends up becoming HIV positive. Now, when a child is diagnosed to be HIV positive, they are initiated on ARV treatment so as to be able to prevent this virus from replicating inside the body of this child. Now, when a child is 0 to 5 years, there's no much understanding that child may have concerning HIV. And at this case, we usually engage the mother and educate the mother on how to give drugs to this child. Usually we engage them in a psychosocial counseling group that we call PAMA, or Papa and Mama counseling group. In this group, if you are a caregiver who has a child who is below 5 years and the child is HIV positive and is on care, what happens in PAMA? We usually educate the guardian or the parent on how to give ARV drugs to your child, when to give ARV drugs to your child, and the frequency to give ARV drugs to your child. We also give you psychosocial support when you engage with other parents or other guardians who are taking care of children like with the same HIV infection like yours. So we build your emotional and social, your psychological strength while taking care of this child who is HIV positive. It also helps a mother to be more encouraged and to feel more empowered while taking care of his or her child. We also empower women or empower the caregivers to even have an extra disclosure so that in your absence, the child should not miss drugs. At least there should be an extra person who understands that this child takes medication and is able to give the right medication with the right dosage with your knowledge as the caregiver. Now, when the child gets to 10 years, now this child is developing, is now in primary school, and this child is able to understand there are things that we call germs, there are things that we call viruses, and at this case, we do a partial disclosure. Now, in partial disclosure, we do not go directly telling this child that you've got a HIV virus and such kind of things. You try to assess the knowledge of this child. Let them tell you what they understand about germs, about viruses, and let them get to inform you the knowledge they know and why they take the drugs. And by assessing their knowledge, you can be able to educate your child that they are having germs in their blood, and this kind of germs they can make them feel sick, and the reason why they take this kind of drugs is so that they can be able to suppress these germs, and the doctor or healthcare worker usually takes some blood from them so that they can check the amount of immunity or immunity system, or they can check the number of these germs inside their bodies and how strong they are. And this will be able to empower them and make them feel part of the treatment that they are undergoing. This helps them to not become rebellious even as they progress to adolescence age. The other thing is that you should be able to help your child understand is that she or he is not the only one who is having this kind of germs. So the child will not start to feel stigmatized, feel that he or she is the odd one out, and feel inferior in front of other children. So we try to engage these children. We call it Operation 000 or OTZ program. And in this program, they get to start learning about this kind of germs, why they should be taken viral load samples, or maybe their blood should be checked regularly by the doctor or the health care worker. They should understand that if they do not continue taking the medication, they can become sick, and this will help them to be able to have good adherence even as they continue with their treatment. Now, as these children grows, they get to understand more about HIV, about sexual and reproductive health, and now they are getting to 12 years. They are now 11, 12 years going forward. Now, between 11 years to 14 years, this is the period of full disclosure. Now, at this time, your child should be able to have full information about HIV. They should be able to understand what is HIV, what are the modes of transmission of HIV, and how does HIV affect their body, and why they should be able to take medication on a daily basis. The other thing, they should be able to understand that as they grow, their drugs the doctor can change their drugs as they grow, because they are affected by age and their weight. The other thing that this child should be able to understand is that having the virus is not a death sentence, and there are other more worse conditions as compared to HIV, and that they can be able to live more better life while accepting themselves, and they can live to their full potential and realize their future dreams. Now, the other thing that you should be able to check or to give your child is full support. Let them have full support. Engage them in the society, in the family, and also let them be part of empowering even others. Because if you use your child as a pillar for others, that child gets to understand and to feel more confident even while discussing about her life, and also he or she does not feel inferior anymore. So being part of support or peer support to others, it makes that child more stronger emotionally, intellectually, and also socially while interacting with other people. What are some of the barriers? Or maybe before we go to the barriers, what are the benefits of disclosure patterns, especially for our clients, and also for our caregivers and the healthcare worker? To begin with, let's start with this child or adolescent. What are the benefits of disclosure? When this child gets the disclosure, he'll be able to take the medication the right way without fear. The other thing, this child will be able to array any questions or fears to you, and they will be feeling they have a shoulder to lean on in case of any question they are having. They can be able to ask any kind of question, any kind of clarification concerning their situation. The other thing, it boosts the adherence and also the interaction with other children, and it also avoids the development of stigma in the society. How about the caregiver? The guilt of the caregiver will be avoided. The caregiver will not have to feel guilty about the condition of her child, and also the caregiver will be at peace even while offering drugs to these children, because they don't have to ask bitter questions. They don't have to be mad about part one disclosure. The next one, we'll be discussing about post-disclosure counseling and also what happens post disclosure and follow. Thank you for watching this channel. Kindly remember to like, subscribe, and share. Let more people be able to understand about this channel so that we can be able to avert stigma about HIV and AIDS. Remember, being positive about HIV is not necessarily being HIV positive. Thank you. God bless you.